Black and Curious. I'm Candrin.
What up, what up, in the station? How y'all doing?
Hello. And if you've never been here before, welcome. We do a cross section of pop culture and real life, little reality in between. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and like this video in advance. Today, we are doing Housewives of Potomac, which has been
It is in shambles.
mm, mm, mm. Where would you like to begin?
Ooh, girl. On a high note, I love that Karen has been giving us her best Southern Black, her best Virginia grown Southern Black at that. She just cracks me
Same.
up. That she's really in her bag of being herself and forgetting this like hoity-toity, highfalutin, grand dame foolishness. I love when Karen is just down home Karen.
Yeah, I like it too. I enjoy it. And as a girlie who is from Virginia and from
Mm.
not that county, but
A
my
county
grandparents
nonetheless.
grew up, or I grew up, well, my grandparents lived in an area that was not unlike that. And that, especially back in the day, it was very kind of isolated. So, not quite as isolated as that county, but it was very much like that. So it reminds me a little bit of home.
I just love it. I
I love
just
it.
love it. Shout out to her for also going through the restoration process to restore her grandmother's home or great
Yeah, I love that.
grandmother. It's like 100 and some years old, right? Because it's
Hmm.
been from generation, which is so crazy. I still remember the episode. I don't know what season it was that they where they did, because they showed it in this week's episode,
Yeah.
them talking about their lineage and how it links back to the white slave owners. And it's just like,
Hmm.
wow, like that is dope that they were even able to do that.
Yeah, that they were able to trace it that far back. It's crazy. Let's talk a little bit about the shadier part of that trip. Her invites.
Girl. So initially it didn't start out as shade. It wasn't shade till she said to husband that she put the names of the girls that she would like to have there in the hat and
There
left
was no
everybody else
hat.
out.
She just left people off that she didn't want to be there. And
Right.
she invited who she wanted to be there. But getting Gizelle in a room with Wendy and Candiace
Candiace.
wasn't going to happen, especially
No.
driving down in one Sprinter van, not on your life.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like, Giselle, girl, get over it. This avoidant behavior is insane to me. You don't like these people, okay, but this is who you work with, girl. You can't just avoid them.
And to that end, I think I was sort of feeling this season has been kind of disjointed. Um, because yeah, like it's like Gizelle is going on with her life. It's clear factions. There's like, you know, Candiace and Wendy, and people can hang out with them or they can hang out with Gizelle, but it's really never the two shall really meet, and except
Mm-mm.
for the trip. In Austin, they were all together. But it's like it's making it hard to watch because it's like there isn't like a group. It's like this small group over here and this small group over here. It's not like we're not
Mm-hmm.
getting full group dynamics this way.
It's very much, and even though we were trying to get away from that colorism moniker, you have the brights, and the browns. Like you have Mia, Robyn, Ashley, and Gizelle.
Well, Nneka's over there too because her and Wendy don't get along.
Oh, I forgot about that. But leaving her out of it,
Understood
it's
what you're
always
saying though.
them all clumped up together. And then I would put Karen and Nneka in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and
Because
then
they're kind of
Wendy
floating back and
and
forth a
Candiace.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there are people who are floating back and forth, but it's like Robyn Gizelle over here, Ashley, I mean Robyn Gizelle over here, and Wendy and Candiace over here. And then everybody else is kind of floating back and forth between the worlds, but
Mm-hmm.
still it's not coming together because those are like the some of the main characters are like the bigger personalities on the show.
Yep.
I will say this
It's
though, and I
unfortunate.
have said this since I think the previous review of the show that we did. I love, love, love Robyn and Wendy. I mean, Robyn and Mia as a duo. I love
Mhm.
them together. Only thing that pissed me off, when they were doing the luncheon for Karen's charity, I felt like Robyn should have been the one to go check on Mia, because Mia at in Austin got up and checked on Robyn when she stormed out, and I just felt like that was a missed opportunity for Robyn to show up for Mia. But
Mhm.
aside from that, I enjoy them as a duo. I think that Robyn's personality comes out a lot more. I think with Gizelle, her personality just like clams up. Versus with Mia, it's like Mia brings brightness to her.
I agree. It's like we're kind of almost getting to know Robin in a new facet, so it makes sense
100%.
to have them be paired off.
Yeah.
So,
And since Gizelle
um,
can't go nowhere, and it doesn't seem like she really wants to go anyplace. It's like, all right, girl, you got to clock in at some point, or it's time
girl,
for you to get off this show, which we've already talked about.
I'm just saying. I just Giselle don't have no storyline, and I think, and she said as much. She
Mm-mm.
when she did that interview with Carlos King, she said that she don't have no storyline, so her story be creating mess amongst the women.
Yeah, but she can't create mess anymore because she's not in good with the people who are she can really get the party going with.
No. It was endearing though to see Giselle, Karen, and their daughters have a sit down
Yes.
and talk about like next steps and preparing for like life and what it's gonna be
Yeah.
like going off to college. That was
And I
cute.
think Grace and I think we talked about it in the last episode of Married to Med that we reviewed. I think both Grace and Allura are really going to FAMU.
So crazy. Every time you say it, I still be like, is that what's happening?
So I would be fine. I think Karen is solidifying her position as the Grand Dame because she's at least creating some story and creating some
She's
like
trying to bring the
opportunity.
girls together.
Yeah, opportunities to like get together, to brunch, the events. She's doing at least something to bring the group together. And so I would be fine if, maybe Gizelle could come back as a friend of Karen next season.
So then what the hell are we gonna do with Robin?
Robyn has Mia.
I know, but as a full-time cast member?
Well, she can be a friend of Mia, as far as I can
Okay, I'm saying, because
concerned.
I'm like, girl, Robin ain't gave us nothing for damn how many seasons we got?
That's true.
7 seasons.
But
So
I don't think
like,
Gizelle is not her lifeline. Mia's her lifeline.
I mean, up until Mia got there, Giselle was the lifeline. She was the raft.
No, I'm talking about present day. Gizelle
Okay.
don't have Gizelle can't save herself. She don't have no life raft to throw Robyn right now.
No. Let's talk about Mia, Robin, Juan, and G at that class. We're all over the place with this RHOP stuff. We're doing 2 episodes clearly, but yeah.
Woo! That I think that's actually we're kind of going into a third episode, but it's fine because that was funny. Um,
Oh shoot, we skipped around. Sorry, y'all.
we did, but
That
that English
conversation
at the
was
pasta
crazy.
class, I was just like, now Mia, what?
Calm
Wait,
down, Mia.
y'all try to build something here, but
Calm
they took
down,
it in
Mia.
stride.
I think that he definitely took it in stride. And then also offered like some care to her because they were talking about the shared similarities of their
Yeah,
situations, which was nice. But like I feel like that was probably the nicest that we have ever seen, or not seen, but heard Juan be. Because most of the time when he's talking to
absolutely.
Robin, he is ripping her to shreds. And it's like, how is this your partner?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely felt like that was the nicest Juan had ever appeared on the show, which I thought was funny because Mia was definitely giving him shit. So,
I mean it was light shit, but it was nonetheless like dig in clear, get this together because this is
yeah.
crazy.
Moving on a bit. Gizelle and Ashley are launching an athleisure line.
GNA. I only put that in our outline for the fact that Wendy was cracking up laughing and said the thing that everybody was damn thinking. These 2 women are coming up with an athleisure line with the way they dress.
I'm like the two tackiest people on the show gonna come up here with a clothing line for whom?
Whomst is finna be wearing that?
Whomst.
We gonna see y'all. The girls be buying anything. The fandom will go off for the girls. So we gonna see. But It
Maybe
was just
Ashley.
bad timing to say that she was introducing anything because she looked crazy as all get up with that skirt from the 80s and the tank top and the jean jacket and the whatever she had on her feet.
Terrible.
Like,
Terrible.
did you get dressed in the dark? Like, what happened? I
It
don't like
was
ugly. I
just
almost smacked myself in the face.
ugh, yikes. Like what in the world? Ugh. No.
Ugh,
Tacky,
indeed.
it's gonna be tacky, tacky, tacky. It's gonna be giving LuLaRoe. And nobody needs that.
Is that them MLM
Yes.
leggings?
We talked about MLMs here. I'll see if I can find an episode. Um,
Uh,
the trip to Surry, we're kind of jumping around a little bit, sorry. Um,
I mean,
Wendy
this
is
season is
trying
disjointed. You said that right here.
it is. Wendy is, and so is this review. Wendy is trying to
It's
make
fitting.
Nneka grovel, it seems like. So she tried to invite her to the function, and Nneka tried to invite Wendy to the function to her house or whatever.
Unpacking party, yeah.
And Wendy is sitting there quiet, not acknowledging that this woman even exists.
Mhm.
And then basically only pipes up to say, like, I don't acknowledge people that I don't find to be a part of my life or even interesting or whatever hell she said. And was like,
Inconsequential.
and then she was just kind of like, she's trying to skip steps. Like, we haven't had a good conversation about this yet, which I guess I get.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, that's my thing.
I
I
mean,
agree
that's
with you
valid.
when you're right. She just was giving us a performance.
It
A
was giving very
performance.
performative. And then once they had the conversation, it didn't go well. So
No. But I mean, you're again having conversations in front of the group when it needs to be just the two of you having like a meeting of the minds because everybody else and their opinions is irrelevant. And when everyone else is the ones bringing forward this time for you all to hash this shit out, it don't ever work out. So it
no.
needs to be the two of you have decided collectively that you want to sit down and have this conversation and do that.
Hmm.
You can't be forced to
Yeah,
talk
I
to
just
somebody
feel
when you
like
ain't ready.
here's the thing. And this can go for both sides of the aisle. I will say Gizelle. It's not even Robyn and Gizelle because Robyn has still been kind of cross pollinating too with the functions. But I will say it's Gizelle versus Ash. God, why do I keep wanting to call these people the wrong names versus Candiace and Wendy? And at a certain point, I'm just like, this is a show. And are
Mhm.
y'all gonna clock in for work or not?
I'm saying. But not only that, like you so up in arms and don't want to have anything to do with these women, but you created the melee that exists as to why you don't want to have anything to do with them. If you poke someone long enough and hard enough, you gonna get what you asking for.
Hmm. Wait,
And
who
it
are you
might be
talking
way
about?
more than you intended to. Giselle. As it
Okay.
relates to Wendy and Candiace, she was doing the most. Like that whole situation with last season with the husband trying to talk to her and all the
Yes.
stuff. Even Robyn was like, girl, this is a lot. You're doing a
Yes.
lot.
You know
Like,
what's something I thought about though? So she did too much with that.
mhm,
This is not, I am not going to be a Giselle apologist because she did too much with that. I think we went on record as saying, girl, you did too much. But something I was thinking about, Giselle is a former pastor's wife. And like propriety in type those closed door types environments, maybe that's what kind of like threw her off. I'm not saying what she did was right, but I'm wondering if like some of that, because like
I mean, well, she spoke to that. She did
churchy
speak to
people
that.
are very like you can't even be seen, like you don't want to be seen that way, and
Hmm.
or behind closed doors with a married man, like even if it's not inappropriate or even if it's not inappropriate, you just don't want that, you don't want that out there. And I
Hmm.
think her going on and on about the being uncomfortable in that situation, we agree that she did too much with it, but at the same time I'm kind of like, okay, enough. Like part of the reality TV experience is y'all do wild stuff and then y'all patch it up, and if you're not going to patch it up, then somebody's got to go. It's like the whole, like on Housewives of Atlanta with Phaedra and Candy. Like they weren't going to have two separate casts so that they could record.
No.
Somebody's
So
just got to
Phaedra was
go.
out.
Yeah, or with Teresa and Danielle. I think Carlos King talked about this when he was talking about Monica and whether or not she was going to be able to stay on the show, which we now know she did not. But like you can't not want to record with people. Like that's not how it works. Like you have to have the dynamics of the group, otherwise the
That's
show
really
doesn't
it.
work. And we're
Mhm.
seeing right now that the show is not working.
I mean, in my to the Gizelle point of it all, like, girl, you cannot be sometimey with it.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's okay for you to be, I don't know, is it the right impropriety? Well, inappropriate. Sometimes it's
Hmm.
okay for you to be, like comedically inappropriate, but then other times when something is innocent, this was totally, inappropriate, and I couldn't do this at a third because it da, 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 da. Like, girl, make it make sense. Which one is it?
I mean, okay, sure. Um,
Because I think that that's part of the issue is like with the girls, and I think kind of Robyn may have alluded to this too. Like at some points, it's okay to do all this extra vernacular conversations and carrying on, but then other times it's like, no, this isn't appropriate because this, that, and the third. But
yeah.
like you'll have these conversations out and open and on camera and present yourself in ways that would not be becoming of a former church first lady.
You know what? This came up actually. I'm going to draw a parallel real quick and then we
Okay.
can move on. Or I think that was the last thing on my list, so we can move on completely. I'm going
Hmm.
to draw a parallel with Heather. So I'm watching Housewives of Salt Lake City. I
Hmm.
just got to the end really, so I'm in the reunion time. But there was a big conversation about Heather basically not wanting to talk about like sex, specifically her daughter's sex life, which I thought
Yeah.
was crazy, but not
But
really wanting
no
to talk
sex at
about
all.
sex. And we've seen her like with Jen, when Jen was bringing all the men around for her to meet, and she was like very free and open about it. And then like now she's kind of like, no, I don't want to talk about it. Like it still like messes with me a little bit sometimes
Taboo.
that,
Yeah.
Mormon training with her, kind of being like, it's still kind of like a little bit, yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. You know what I mean? Or I
But
don't want to
she
talk
said
about it.
that. That's the difference.
I don't want to talk about it in this company. And like there was a big to do about why she didn't want to talk about it. It's like, oh, you're bad Mormon, you're supposed to be excommunicated or whatever, whatever. But like,
Hmm.
but now all of a sudden, this is where you draw the line. And I feel like her and Gizelle are kind of having the same experience. And I'm not sure that maybe Gizelle isn't cognizant of the experience, or I think she may have spoken to it a little bit.
Hmm.
But I think the context is a little absent. So again, I don't think what she said about Chris was right, but I think that's where it was coming from. And I
Yeah.
think
I can give
again,
you
at
that.
a certain point, like with these relationships, you have to patch it up or you have to get off the show, because we're not going to keep following two different groups because y'all can't get on the same page. And it doesn't seem like Wendy or Candiace are going to budge. So I think it's Gizelle that's going to be out.
Well, c'est la vie.
Yep.
I hate to see you go, but whatever, girl.
So
I think that's all we got on RHOP. Y'all
it
drop down in the
is.
comments and let us know your thoughts and opinions over the last 3 episodes, because we done jumped all over the place with this
Mhm.
conversation. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.
Bye.